Admiral Helena Winters stood in the quantum-enhanced war room aboard the Nightshade, surrounded by holographic displays showing the galaxy in chaos. Lieutenant Rodriguez's discovery in the Voidborn archive had changed everything. The truth of humanity's 3,000-year quarantine was spreading across every civilized world, and the response was unprecedented. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," announced Rajesh Patel. "The Arcanian fleet is decloaking. The Nebari collective is mobilizing. Every major power in the galaxy is converging on our position." "Let them come," Helena said, her voice carrying the weight of newfound understanding. "Commander Zhao, status of our defensive grid." Jun Zhao's hologram flickered to life. "All systems at maximum capacity, Admiral. The Jupiter Defense Network is fully operational, and our colonial installations are ready." Fleet Admiral Marcus Akanjo's projection appeared next. "The combined fleet is in position. We've established quantum corridors across all major approaches. They can't surprise us now." The displays showed thousands of ships moving into position, not just human vessels, but fleets from every major civilization in the galaxy. The Voidborn's secret was out, and the response was beyond anything they could have predicted. "Incoming transmission," Rajesh announced. It's from the Galactic Conclave itself. They're requesting an immediate conference." Diana Rodriguez's team had returned from their mission with more than just the truth about the stasis pods. They had uncovered evidence of a conspiracy that stretched back millennia, a plan to study and contain humanity's potential for evolution and advancement. "Accept the transmission," Helena ordered. "Full quantum security protocols." The war room's central space filled with the projected images of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. The Arcanian High Commander, the Nebari Consciousness, representatives from a dozen major civilizations, all gathered to face the species they had tried to contain. "Admiral Winters," the Arcanian High Commander began, "we are here too." "You're here because you're afraid," Helena interrupted, her voice calm but forceful. "Not just of what we've become, but of what your ancestors did. The Voidborn weren't acting alone 3,000 years ago. They were carrying out the will of the entire Galactic Conclave." Silence filled the quantum connection. In the background, displays showed more fleets arriving, the gathered might of an entire galaxy facing the species they had underestimated. "What you did wasn't just isolation," Helena continued. "It was experimentation. You quarantined us, studied us, waited to see how we would evolve without interference. But you made one crucial mistake. You gave us time. Time to grow, to advance, to become something beyond your calculations." Lieutenant Rodriguez's hologram appeared, presenting the evidence they had recovered. "The stasis pods in the Voidborn archive weren't just specimens," she reported. "They were a control group. The Conclave wanted to compare natural human evolution against what we would become in isolation." "And now you fear what you've created," Marcus added, his fleet's weapons systems clearly visible in the background. "Humanity didn't just survive your experiment, we transcended it." The Nebari consciousness stirred, its crystalline form shifting. "The quarantine was necessary. Your species' potential for advancement was unprecedented. Uncontrolled, it could have." "Could have what?" Commander Zhao interrupted. "Could have shown you that your understanding of evolution, of technology, of reality itself was limited. That's exactly what we did." Helena moved forward, her presence commanding attention even across quantum space. "We're not here to take revenge. We're here to show you that your greatest fear was misplaced. You thought uncontrolled human advancement would lead to chaos, to destruction. Instead, it led to innovations you never imagined possible." The displays showed humanity's achievements, the quantum defense network, the probability engines, the stealth technology that had hidden entire civilizations. 3,000 years of advancement, driven by the very isolation meant to contain it. "We offer you a choice," Helena declared. "Continue this conflict and face a species that has spent 3 millennia preparing for war, or accept that your experiment had an unexpected outcome, that humanity has become something worthy not of fear, but of alliance." The gathered leaders were silent, watching as more of humanity's hidden achievements were revealed. the quantum corridors that could reshape space-time, the probability engines that defied conventional physics, the genetic advancements that had fulfilled the potential their ancestors had feared. You tried to contain us, Helena continued, but instead you forced us to expand in ways you never imagined. We didn't just build weapons or ships, we reformed our understanding of reality itself. And now we offer to share that knowledge. The Arcanian High Commander spoke first. You would share these advancements after what was done to your species. We've evolved beyond the need for revenge, Marcus responded, but we will never again accept containment or control. One by one, the galaxy's leaders began to understand. Their ancestors' greatest fear had become their greatest opportunity. Humanity hadn't just survived their experiment, they had emerged from it with discoveries that could transform civilization itself. The quarantine ends today, Helena declared. Not just for humanity, but for all species. No more hidden experiments, no more controlled evolution. It's time for the galaxy to advance together. As the Galactic Conclave deliberated, Helena shared a look with her commanders. 3,000 years of isolation had prepared humanity not just for war, but for this moment, the opportunity to reshape the galaxy's future. The experiment was over. The containment had failed. And in its failure, something greater had been born, a humanity that had transformed isolation into innovation, fear into progress, and the threat of war into an opportunity for unprecedented peace. The galaxy would never be the same. And perhaps, Helena thought as the conclave began to signal their acceptance, that had been the point all along. Lieutenant Diana Rodriguez moved silently through the ancient corridors of the Voidborn Archive, her quantum stealth suit rendering her invisible to both organic and artificial sensors. Behind her, the rest of Phantom Team maintained perfect formation, 6 of humanity's most elite operators, infiltrating the heart of enemy territory. "Security sweep approaching," whispered Sergeant Kai Nakamura through their neural link. 3 guards, 2 synthetic sentinels. Diana held up her hand, signaling the team to freeze. After 3,000 years of preparation, humanity hadn't just developed weapons and ships, they had perfected the art of stealth, beyond anything the galaxy thought possible. "Central Archive is 2 levels down," reported tech specialist Owen Blake, his augmented vision scanning through walls. "I'm detecting massive energy signatures. Whatever they're hiding down there, it's important." The team had infiltrated the Voidborn homeworld, while Operation Starburst unfolded across the galaxy. Their mission was simple but crucial: discover why the Voidborn had really attacked Earth after 3 millennia of peace. "Movement patterns analyzed," came the calm voice of Lieutenant Yara Patel. "Guards will clear this sector in 47 seconds. Diana nodded, though her team couldn't see it. Their neural links shared the gesture anyway. "Once they pass, we move. Remember, we're not just here for intelligence. If what deep space intelligence suggested is true, there's something in these archives that changes everything." The guards passed, their energy weapons ready but useless against intruders they couldn't detect. Humanity's quantum stealth technology didn't just bend light. It shifted its users partially out of phase with normal space-time, making detection impossible by any conventional means. "Clear," Kai announced. 30 minutes until the next patrol." The team moved like shadows, their movements silent and precise. 3,000 years of genetic enhancement and cybernetic advancement had created soldiers that could match any species in the galaxy. But it was their training, their discipline, that made them truly lethal. They reached the Central Archive's main door, a massive quantum-locked barrier that supposedly couldn't be breached. Owen stepped forward, his neural implants connecting with the ancient security systems. "This is interesting," he muttered. "The encryption isn't just complex, it's familiar, almost like." "Like what?" Diana asked, sensing something significant in his hesitation. "Like human quantum coding, an early version, but the basic structures are there. Lieutenant, this technology, it's based on Earth designs from before the isolation." Diana felt her pulse quicken. "Get us in now." The door dissolved silently as Owen bypassed security protocols, that shared DNA with humanity's own systems. Beyond it lay the truth they had come to find, the real reason the galaxy had isolated Earth 3,000 years ago. "By all the stars," Yara breathed as they entered the central chamber. "Those aren't just archives, they're stasis pods." Hundreds of pods lined the walls, each containing what appeared to be perfectly preserved human bodies. But they weren't just any humans. They were wearing uniforms that Diana recognized from historical records. Uniforms from before the isolation. "Check the dating," Diana ordered, her voice tight with controlled emotion. Owen moved to a central console, his quantum decryption tools making short work of the security. "These pods, they're over 3,000 years old. Lieutenant, these people. They're from Earth, from before." "But why?" Sergeant Alina Cruz asked, her weapon trained on the chamber's other entrance. "Why would the Voidborn have preserved humans from before the isolation?" Diana moved to another console, her augmented vision scanning ancient text. "Because they feared us, not for what we were, but for what we could become. Look at this, it's a genetic analysis, comparing modern humans to something else." The central hologram activated, showing a spiral of DNA. But it wasn't just human DNA, it was changing, evolving at an impossible rate. Next to it, readings from modern humans showed the same patterns, accelerated over 3,000 years of isolation. "They didn't isolate us to protect themselves," Diana realized, the truth dawning with crystal clarity. "They isolated us to study us, to watch how we would evolve without interference. These people in the pods, they're the control group." "Lieutenant," Kai called out urgently, "I'm picking up quantum communications, massive fleet movements. The Voidborn, they're not just retreating. They're initiating some kind of emergency protocol." Diana's mind raced. The Voidborn hadn't attacked Earth out of arrogance or conquest. They had attacked out of fear. Fear of what humanity had become during their isolation. Fear of what the experiments of their ancestors had created. "Send everything to Fleet Command," she ordered. "Admiral Winters needs to see this. The galaxy didn't ignore us, they quarantined us, watched us, waited to see what we would become." "Multiple contacts," Elena shouted. "They know we're here." Diana made a decision. "Owen, initiate quantum transfer of all archive data. Yara, set quantum charges. If they want to study humanity, let's show them what we've learned in 3,000 years of solitude." As alarms began to blare through the facility, Diana looked at the ancient humans in their stasis pods, unwitting participants in the galaxy's longest-running experiment. An experiment that had backfired spectacularly, creating exactly what the Voidborn had feared most, a humanity that had evolved beyond their control. "Phantom Team," she commanded, "prepare for exit strategy Delta. We're taking this evidence back to Earth. It's time the galaxy learned that their greatest experiment has become their worst nightmare." The charges were set, the data was transmitting, and Phantom Team moved with deadly precision toward their extraction point. Above them, the battle for the galaxy's future raged. But here, in the depths of the Voidborn archive, humanity had discovered a truth that would change everything. They hadn't been forgotten, they had been studied, and now the experiment was complete, but not with the results their observers had hoped for. Humanity hadn't just survived their isolation, they had transcended it. The autonomous combat units struck with devastating precision, their coordinated attacks guided by artificial intelligences that could process combat scenarios faster than organic minds could comprehend. The Voidborn's fighter screens, expecting primitive resistance, found themselves engaged by weapons that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. "Enemy fleet is in disarray," Torres reported, a note of satisfaction in his voice. "Their formations are breaking up. We're detecting multiple drive failures across their support ships." Jun watched as humanity's defensive network systematically dismantled what had been considered one of the most powerful fleets in the galaxy. 3,000 years of preparation were paying off in ways even he hadn't fully anticipated. "Message from Admiral Winters," Reeves announced. "The Nightshade and the Stealth Fleet are moving to engage," she says, and I quote, "Let's show them what humanity can really do." As the battle unfolded around Jupiter, Jun thought about the generations of humans who had worked in secret, advancing their technology far beyond what the galaxy thought possible. The Voidborn had expected to find a primitive species, barely able to defend their own planet. Instead, they had found an opponent that had turned 3 millennia of isolation into an advantage they never could have imagined. "Commander," Okafor called out, "we're detecting quantum signatures, more enemy ships entering the system." Jun's expression remained calm. "Good, let them come, let them all come. It's time the galaxy remembered who we are and what humanity is capable of when challenged." The battle for Jupiter had only just begun, but its outcome was already certain. Humanity had spent 3,000 years preparing for this day, and they intended to make it count. Fleet Admiral Marcus Akanjo stood on the bridge of the S. Prometheus, Earth's first revealed dreadnought, as reports from across the galaxy streamed in. The Voidborn's defeat at Jupiter had been merely the opening move in humanity's grand strategy. Now, it was time for Operation Starburst. "Signal from Luna Command confirmed," announced Communications Chief Nadia Chen. "All colonial nodes are responding. Operation Starburst is green across all sectors." Marcus watched as new data points appeared on the strategic display. Across dozens of star systems, hidden human colonies were dropping their quantum veils. Military installations that had remained cloaked for centuries revealed themselves. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had never been confined to their solar system. "Status of the Centauri fleet?" Marcus asked, his deep voice carrying across the bridge. Colonel Dante Rivera responded immediately. "Battle Group Avalon reports ready, Admiral. 300 ships, fully armed and crewed. The Voidborn still have no idea we're behind their lines." For 3,000 years, humanity had been building, not just in their home system, but across the stars. While the galaxy's powers dismissed Earth as a backwater world, humans had been establishing hidden colonies, constructing shipyards, and developing technologies that would reshape the understanding of what was possible. "Message from Admiral Winters on the Nightshade," Chen reported. "The Jupiter defense was successful. The Voidborn fleet is in full retreat. They're requesting reinforcements." Marcus allowed himself a grim smile. "They'll find those reinforcements are having problems of their own. Major Hassan, status of our stealth corridors." Major Aisha Hassan's fingers danced across her console. "Quantum tunnels are stable, sir. We can move our entire fleet across 50 light-years in minutes. The enemy's supply lines are completely exposed." The quantum tunnels were another secret humanity had kept artificial corridors through space-time that allowed for near-instantaneous travel across vast distances. The Voidborn's conventional FTL drives would be useless in the coming battle. "Send the signal to all colonial commands," Marcus ordered. "Initiate synchronized revelation. Let's show the galaxy exactly what humanity has been doing for the past 3 millennia." Across the stars, human colonies emerged from hiding. On worlds thought to be uninhabited, vast cities shimmered into view as their quantum shields deactivated. Military bases appeared on moons and asteroids that had been dismissed as worthless rocks. Shipping lanes that had been carefully hidden for centuries suddenly teemed with human vessels. "Sir," Rivera called out, "we're getting reactions from other galactic powers. The Arcanian Confederation is calling an emergency session. The Nebari are mobilizing their observer fleets." Marcus nodded. "Let them watch. Colonel Rivera, signal Battle Group Avalon, begin Operation Thunderstrike." Behind the Voidborn's main fleet lines, humanity's hidden forces sprang into action. Ships that had waited in quantum-cloaked staging areas for decades began their assault on key military installations. The Voidborn were about to learn they weren't just fighting Earth. They were fighting an interstellar civilization that had grown in secret. "Multiple quantum corridor activations detected," Hassan reported. "The Voidborn are trying to redirect their fleets to defend their core systems." "Too late," Marcus said quietly. "They thought they were attacking a single world. Instead, they've awakened a sleeping giant that spans the stars." Chief Chen broadcast on all frequencies. "Let's make sure everyone in the galaxy hears what happens next." The Prometheus's engines hummed as it moved into position. Around it, hundreds of ships emerged from quantum corridors, humanity's hidden fleet, built in secret shipyards across dozens of star systems. Each vessel carried weapons and defenses that had been developed without the constraints of galactic conventions or treaties. "Sir," Chen called out, "we're receiving transmissions from multiple Voidborn command centers. They're requesting terms for surrender." Marcus shared a look with his bridge crew. "No terms yet. First, they learn exactly who they attacked. Major Hassan, activate the quantum beacon network. Show them every colony, every base, every ship we've built. Let them see what humanity has become." The quantum beacons activated, and across the galaxy, the true scope of human civilization was revealed. The Voidborn hadn't attacked a single isolated world. They had challenged a species that had used their isolation to expand and advance beyond anything the galaxy had imagined possible. "Admiral," Rivera reported, "we're detecting massive fleet movements from other galactic powers. They're moving to establish observation positions." "Let them observe," Marcus replied. "Humanity has hidden in the shadows long enough. Now we show the galaxy that isolating us was their greatest mistake. We didn't spend 3,000 years in exile, we spent it preparing. And now they'll all understand exactly what that means." The Prometheus moved forward, leading humanity's revealed fleet toward the heart of Voidborn space. Behind it, quantum corridors sprang to life, allowing ships to move across vast distances in moments. The galaxy had forgotten who humanity was. They were about to receive a lesson they would never forget. "All ships," Marcus commanded, his voice carrying to every human vessel across the stars, "execute Operation Starburst. Show them what humanity has become." As the human fleet moved into attack position, Marcus thought about all the generations that had worked in secret, building this moment. The galaxy had tried to contain humanity by ignoring them. Instead, they had created exactly what they feared most, a civilization that had grown stronger in isolation, unfettered by the limitations others tried to impose. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer as humanity's hidden empire revealed itself. The war had begun with an attack on Earth. It would end with the galaxy understanding that humanity had never been alone, never been confined, and never been truly isolated. They had been waiting, watching, and preparing. And now the waiting was over. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning, threading its way through quantum relays buried deep beneath Earth's oceans. Admiral Helena Winters stood at the viewport of the Nightshade, Earth's most advanced stealth vessel, watching the stars drift by as Lieutenant Commander Rajesh Patel's voice broke the silence. "Admiral, priority transmission from Earth Command. The Voidborn Empire has declared war." A slight smile touched Helena's lips as she turned from the viewport. 3,000 years of preparation, of careful planning and patient advancement, had led to this moment. The galaxy had forgotten Earth, dismissed humanity as primitive, emotional creatures unworthy of inclusion in their grand alliances. That suited humanity just fine. "Send acknowledgement to command," Helena ordered, her voice steady. "Initiative Damascus is now active." Throughout the solar system, hidden installations stirred to life. Beneath the ice of Europa, quantum computers that made alien technology look primitive began calculating battle scenarios. In the clouds of Venus, swarms of microscopic machines awakened, ready to transform the very fabric of spacetime into a weapon. The Nightshade's bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their movements deliberate and precise. They had trained for this moment their entire lives, as had their parents and their grandparents before them. Humanity had never stopped preparing for war. They had simply gotten better at hiding it. "Receiving tactical data from Titan Base," announced Lieutenant Zara O'Neill, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. "The Voidborn fleet will arrive in 3 days. 17 capital ships, over 200 support vessels." Helena nodded, studying the tactical projection. "They expect to find a primitive species, barely able to reach their own moon. Instead, they'll find the most advanced military force the galaxy has ever seen." She turned to her XO, Commander Viktor Petrov. "Status of the Lazarus Grid." Online and ready, Admiral. 3,000 years of quantum entanglement technology wrapped around our entire solar system. We can track every photon that enters our space. The bridge fell silent as a new projection appeared. The void-born fleet, moving with the arrogant confidence of a superior force. They had no idea that humanity had been watching them for centuries, studying their technology, their tactics, their weaknesses. "Send word to all commands," Helena ordered. "Operation Phantom Dawn begins now. I want our stealth fleets in position before they cross the Kuiper Belt, and contact Director Winters at Luna Base, tell him to activate the Gravity Lance arrays." The mention of her brother brought a brief flash of emotion to Helena's face. Thomas Winters had spent decades perfecting weapons that violated the very laws of physics as the galaxy understood them. The Voidborn were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology. It was their relentless drive to surpass their limitations. As the Nightshade moved silently through the void, Helena reflected on the irony of the situation. The galaxy had feared humanity's emotional nature, their unpredictability, their capacity for both creation and destruction. In trying to contain humanity by isolation, they had instead created exactly what they feared most: a species that had turned their exile into an advantage, their isolation into strength. "Admiral," Rajesh called out, "we're receiving reports from our deep space sensors. The Voidborn are broadcasting their declaration of war across all frequencies. They're telling the galaxy that Earth will be an example to all who defy the Empire." Helena's smile grew slightly wider. "Let them come. Humanity has spent 3,000 years preparing for this day, not because we wanted war, but because we understood a fundamental truth that the galaxy had forgotten. Peace is not maintained through treaties and accords, but through strength and readiness." The Nightshade's engines hummed silently as they moved into position. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden strength emerged from the shadows. Quantum-cloaked battle stations, artificial intelligence networks that spanned entire moons, weapons that could redirect the fundamental forces of the universe, all created in secret while the galaxy looked away. "Send a message to all Earth forces," Helena commanded, her voice carrying the weight of 3 millennia of preparation. "This is Admiral Winters. The time has come to show the galaxy who we really are. For 3,000 years we have been patient. We have been silent. We have been watching. Now we will show them why humanity was never meant to be ignored." As the message was relayed across the solar system, Helena turned back to the viewport. Soon, the Voidborn would arrive, expecting an easy victory over a primitive world. Instead, they would find an opponent that had spent 3,000 years preparing for this very moment. The galaxy had forgotten who humanity truly was. They were about to receive a reminder they would never forget. Commander Jun Zhao stood in the control center of Jupiter Defense Station Alpha, watching as the quantum displays tracked the approaching Voidborn fleet. Around him, the elite members of the 7th Special Operations Division maintained their stations with the precision that came from generations of preparation. "Defense grid status," Jun commanded, his voice carrying the calm authority that had earned him command of humanity's most advanced defensive installation. Lieutenant Amara Akafer's hands moved across the holographic interface. "All systems nominal, Commander. Quantum shield arrays are charged to full capacity. The automated battle stations around Jupiter's moons are armed and cloaked." 3,000 years of technological advancement had transformed Jupiter and its moons into humanity's first line of defense. Beneath the swirling storms of the gas giant, vast energy collectors harvested power from the planet itself. Each of Jupiter's major moons housed weapon systems that would have been considered impossible by the rest of the galaxy. "Message from the Nightshade," announced Captain Miguel Torres. "Admiral Winters confirms the Voidborn fleet will cross the defensive line in 30 minutes. Jun nodded, studying the tactical display. The enemy fleet moved in a standard combat formation, clearly expecting minimal resistance. They had no idea they were flying into the most sophisticated defensive network ever created. "Begin power-up sequence for the quantum defense grid," Jun ordered, "and contact Dr. Evelyn Nash at Europa Station. Tell her to prepare the probability engines. The probability engines were perhaps humanity's greatest achievement technology that could calculate and manipulate the quantum state of space-time itself. The Voidborn's advanced shields would be useless against weapons that could alter the very fabric of reality. Commander, called out Lieutenant Ockhaffer, were detecting energy signatures from the Voidborn fleet. They're charging weapons. Jun allowed himself a small smile. Let them come. Humanity has spent 3 millennia preparing for this moment. Lieutenant Commander Reeves, status of our stealth platforms. Olivia Reeves, her dark eyes focused on her displays, responded crisply. All platforms showing green, sir. 500 autonomous combat units ready for deployment. The enemy has no idea they're surrounded. The first shots from the Voidborn fleet lanced out into space, testing Earth's defenses. Their sensors would show them nothing, no ships, no stations, no defenses of any kind. Just the empty space around Jupiter they expected to find. They're launching fighters, Tors reported. Standard attack pattern, they still think we're defenseless. Jun straightened his uniform. Time to show them how wrong they are. Lieutenant Ockhaffer, activate the quantum grid. Captain Tors, deploy autonomous units. Lieutenant Commander Reeves, prepare to engage probability drives. Across the Jupiter system, humanity's defenses shed their quantum camouflage. Hundreds of battle stations materialized around Jupiter's moons, their weapons already tracking targets. Swarms of autonomous combat units emerged from hidden hangars, their advanced AI systems coordinating with inhuman precision. The Voidborn fleet's formation faltered as their sensors suddenly overloaded with targets. Their fighters, expecting an easy approach, found themselves surrounded by defenses that seemed to appear from nowhere. Message from the enemy flagship, Reeves announced. They're demanding our surrender. Jun's expression remained neutral. Send no response. Initialize the probability engines on my mark. Dr. Nash's voice came through the command channel. Probability engines are spooled up, Commander. Ready on your order. The Voidborn ships opened fire with their main batteries, their energy weapons powerful enough to devastate most planetary defenses. But as the beams approached Jupiter's moons, they encountered something unprecedented. Quantum shields holding at full strength, Ockhaffer reported. The enemy weapons are having no effect. Jun nodded. They're still using conventional physics. Show them what humanity has achieved in 3,000 years of isolation. Dr. Nash, activate the probability engines. All units, weapons free. What happened next would be studied by military historians for centuries to come. The probability engines came online, and reality itself seemed to twist around the Voidborn fleet. Their shields, designed to stop energy and kinetic weapons, were useless against attacks that altered the quantum probability of their ship's existence.